Hello then guys, welcome back to Benny DFM. I've discovered one thing about Ukrainian football. Shakhtar Donetsk are the best team, we're closely behind, and then everyone else is just a little bit average. Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Kings of Kiev. I'm Ben, and coming up on today's episode we have the second leg of our Champions League playoff game against AZ Alkmaar, and that is followed by a league game against Zorya. Now, if you do enjoy today's episode, then please do drop a like down below for me. Subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with this series, which is dropping twice a week, along with other exciting videos that I have planned coming forward. But without further ado, let's get stuck into this. And as you can see, since you were last with me, form has been pretty good. We went on a run of winning every game in a row, only conceding one goal in the process. We beat Alexandria 5-0 and Olympic D 5-0. We then knocked out NK Lokomotiva from the Champions League playoff rounds. That was a 1-0 victory after extra time. We then beat Ruk Lviv 4-1 in the league, beating Alkmaar, who we face again today, 4-0 away in that first leg. But as I mentioned in the intro, there's one team who are better than us in Ukraine, and that is Shakhtar Donetsk, who we again lost to 3-1. So I think, basically, if we're going to be successful here in Ukraine, we're going to have to end up beating Shakhtar Donetsk at some point. But some other exciting news since you were last with me. A couple of new players are here, so should we go and check them out now? The first of which is this man, Manuel Ugarte, bought in for 1.1 million, a Uruguayan player who can play in that defensive midfield role. He looks really well rounded at the age of 19. He's only on £7,000 a week, already valued at 5.25 million. His passing's pretty good, his vision's pretty good, his technique, his work rate, it's all just a really well-rounded attribute for the deep lying playmaker position. It means that we can also push our current central defensive midfielder, I think it was Shepelev, into the centre of the park to play alongside Buvaliski. So it just shores up that central midfield. He's a really solid addition, and hopefully we will be seeing his name in stars with Ukrainian Dynamo Kiev in years to come. The second and only other signing we've made is this guy, Mahir Emreli. He's an Azerbaijani 23-year-old with 21 caps for Azerbaijan, so he's a really good player. We bought him for 1.5 million. As you can see, he's already valued at 4.7 million, and that's probably because he's played 3 times for Dynamo Kiev so far and scored 4 goals. He is exactly what we were looking for. We were a bit lacking in the forward depth. He's got 14 finishing, his passing is 14 as well, which is pretty good to link up the play. 16 determination, so confident he may still have a little bit of improvement in him, with good acceleration, agility and pace. His composure is what lacks, but the way he has been scoring goals so far is really exciting. Hopefully he can continue to do so today against AZ and Zorya, because man, this guy has been in incredible form. He's also got the ability to play in behind the strikers as well, in the winger roles or even in that AMC role. So he's a really good rounded player, and he, as I say, is the second of only our second signing since the last episode. 3 signings we brought in total then. They'll all feature today, so let's get stuck in to this AZ game. And the team for this AZ game is this one. We've got Bushkan in goal, a back four of Gudara, Popov, Berda and Michaelenko. Ugarte plays in behind Shaparenko and Bulyaski in the midfield. Verbic on the left, Sigankov on the right, and Emreli, the goal scoring machine, is up front. To be fair, all of the front 3 today, Shigankov, Verbic and Emreli, as you can see, have got a hatful of goals between them. So as I say, fingers crossed that they can continue to keep this going. As you will remember from the start of the episode, we do already have a 4-goal cushion going in to this game against AZ. So it is just a case of confirming qualification, and if we can do so, it will be a really, really solid start. I think that means we're in the group stage of the Champions League. We'll obviously find out after this one, but I'm pretty sure a win here would put us through to the group stages, and that's all the board wanted us to do in the Champions League this year. But it will give us our first proper taste of European football and see how Dynamo Kiev are going to fare up in that competition, as the first 25 or so minutes of this game have flown by. And here's our first highlight, which is cleared by Popov, but only as far as Svensson, who's got an ability to cross, and there's Miran Buda, an absolute legend of FM. He's a really good pickup over in Holland if you are playing in that league, or of course if you're playing in any other league. He's a really good one to grab, and he's shown here why. He scored the away goal against us. It's really, really easy, and it's a poor start for the Dynamo Kiev team. We're going to berate them because maybe we've just got a bit of a hangover from that Shakhtar Donetsk result, as Carlson finds wind out, and it looks like maybe AZ are going to come at us again here through Evgen. It's really well blocked by Ugarte, but they are still coming at us, and the ball to the back post. Michaelenko does well, and we have a chance to break, and here is the aforementioned Emreli to Verbic, all the way over to Zizankov, and that is a great ball, and he's got the ability to put one across if he wants to. Shaparenko shoots, it's well blocked, and it's end-to-end action. Where are we going now? Buda's running with it now towards our box. This is going to inevitably end up in a goal as Popov hoofs it clear, and wow, that was a bit of end-to-end stuff. It's a bit of a quiet game so far, but I'd hope that we'd be able to get back into this one and hopefully grab another victory before going back to some league action, as that's a great ball to Sigankov from Popov, and Guadara is on the overlap as well. Sigankov, Guadara, Bulieski, oh, it's headed just wide from a really, really, really good position. We're starting to build what we would usually see from this Kiev side, and Shaparenko is off again. Who's he got with him? Not a lot. He's fouled, is he? I mean, that looks unbelievably harsh if that's going to be a penalty. I think it's outside the box. I'm expecting there to be a free kick come from this, because if this is given as a penalty, I mean, football's dead, isn't it, if this is given as a penalty? We're looking at VAR. I'm assuming he's going to come back and say no penalty. If he doesn't, we've got a chance, of course, to score, and it is no penalty. It's outside the area. It is a free kick. I don't think it was really that bad a foul. We'll see if we can get something from the free kick, because we are seeing it. Sigankov is over it, and he's got a chance to whip the ball in, which he does towards the back post, but Emreli isn't there to attack it, and we're going to have to build again through Verbic on the left-hand side, all the way back to Michaelenko, and that feels a bit of a waste from that free kick. But we go in 1-0 down. It's not looking too bad with regards to the overall aspect or outcome of the tie, but it would be nice if we could just keep that little winning run, apart from Shakhtar Donetsk, of course, that little winning run going. And it shows actually that when the players up front don't play well, which they're not today, we do have a massive impact on the team, which is likely as two of our players look to get in the way of each other there, and therefore Carlson has it for AZ, and Stengs on the right hand side goes past his man. Popov clears really well, but it's again only as far as an AZ shirt, but Sigankov steps in, and off we go now. Sigankov running towards the AZ area. What's he going to do with it this time? Pull it across. Emreli, of course he was going to score. We mentioned him before the game. It's an unbelievable run from Viktor Sigankov, and he's found Emreli, who is in the right place at the right time, and he has slotted it home to make it Dynamo Kiev 1, AZ Alkmaar 1, and it is a really good... He's nutmegged the keeper. Emreli is looking a fine prospect, and there's a highlight straight after the goal. Where's this going to go? If we can win this back and make it 2-1 immediately, that would be ideal. But it looks like Buda's come deep, and AZ Alkmaar are going to build. That's a great ball. Where's the right back? Oh, what a tackle. Oh, it is in. It could be disallowed. It could be disallowed. I think Buda was offside, but it's... Where's Guadara here? Guadara should be at right back. What's going on? It is disallowed. It is offside. We're saved. This guy has got so much room. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's very tight. We'll go with that being a very happy outcome for us. As Zigankov with the ball in, it's cleared again. We're not getting to the headers on these corners, but we'll go again. Ugart to Verbic to Burda to Agate, to Verbic, who's put it through to it. That's a great pass! Oh, what a ball from Manuel Agate, another new man. He puts Zigankov in to make it 2-1 Kiev. We look so much better in this second half. But look at this pass from Manuel Agate. Verbic pops it back to him and it's first time through ball. It's absolutely unbelievable. Verbic and Shaparenko both struggling for fitness. So they're both going to come off. Delund can come on this left-hand side and Shaparenko can come off for Shepelev in the middle of the park. What a pass. What a pass. That is unbelievable. And as I say, we're looking much, much better in this second half. As Zigankov is going to come off as well for I think it's Bojan Lednev is coming now onto this right-hand side. As Svensson's on it for them. And it's a chance again for AZ, which is cleared really well by Michaelenko. But no one's pressing out to get it. We need to be a bit more urgent on those. As Svensson's got the ball back to Mitsu. To Svensson again. And Shepelev steps in. And Emreli now has a chance to run towards the AZ area. And he's doing it with a flying passion. And it's saved really well by Bizot in the AZ goal. As Delun now with the corner. Shepelev at the front post. We finally connected with a corner. But it wasn't quite meant to be. I don't know how many subs we can make. Because there is a few tired legs out there. We have got 2 more subs that we're able to make. So let's have a look here and get some of our bigger names off. Agate is 1. We'll bring on Tudor Baluta for him. And Michaelenko not having a great game and he's struggling for fitness. So we'll get Shabanov on for him on that left-hand side. I'm pretty sure now there'll be a really dramatic change if we were not to go through in this game. With 10 minutes to go, we're going to drop a bit of praise. We've been the better team in the end, and it looks like we will be coming away with the victory. As I say that, though, there is another highlight for AZ, and it's Uppercool to Svensson on this right-hand side. Can we clear with a header as well? Buda shoots. It's really well blocked. Well, I say it's really well blocked. It felt like more a player was just in the way where the shot was. Shabanov's beaten. He gets back in, and he forces the corner. Really good work in the end from Shabanov. Initially, it wasn't the greatest. And Carlson with the corner, which we have to win. And Bushkan heads over, or puts the ball over from a really good AZ header. I mean, they're coming at us a bit to end the game. Carlson with the ball in again this time. And Baluta does what we needed him to do in a really good defensive clearing header to Reinders. Oh my God, I'm not going to try and say his name. But the highlight's over. It's all good. It's all good. It looks like we are going to come away with another victory. It's 2-1 to Dynamo Kiev. We're going to praise the boys. A really good performance. I think that will put us through to the Champions League group stages. I hope I will know by the next game, which is Zorya, and I'll see you for that one in a second. Here we are then. We did make the Champions League group stages, and we've been handed a rather interesting group. We've got the current holders, Bayern Munich. We've also got Benfica, obviously, over in Portugal. So 2 big teams in there, along with Basak Sahia from Turkey. So it's a really interesting group. I feel like we can definitely get that 3rd place to sneak into the Europa League. Our main competitor for that 2nd spot is probably going to be Benfica. So if we can beat them, then there's obviously a chance that we'll make it to the latter stages. But a really interesting group. It's going to be a test, and that's what we wanted early on, just to see where we do sit within that European pyramid. But for today, it's a league game against Zorya, and this is a team, a few changes due to injuries and a couple of fitness issues. So we got Bushkan in goal, a back 4 of Guadara, Popov, Berda and Michaelenko. Shaparenko, Sidorchuk and Shebelev are now in the midfield, with Zigankov on the right, Verbic on the left and Emreli still up front. So it's mainly the midfield that it has a bit of a switch up. But Zorya, they are sat in 7th place, so just outside that sort of little playoff that I believe is for the Europa League that sits below us and Shakhtar Donetsk. So they're not a bad team at all. It's going to be an interesting game to see if we can get the better of them. But of course, in every game where it's not been Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine, we have come away with victory. So hopefully we can do so again today. Zigankov is found by Michaelenko and he switches it back to him. That's a great ball for Verbic, who puts Zigankov in, and that, I mean, from Grechkin at the back post is an absolutely unbelievable block. Fair play to him. The corner's in. It's headed back to Zigankov, who puts the ball across for Berda, who's not going to be able to find anyone from there. But it's recycled, and Michaelenko comes forward with it, but that is the end of the highlight. As I said, Ukraine is a really interesting one. There seems to be two teams who are out flying at the top, and then the rest sort of battle it out. But we've got to be wary of the rest to keep up with Shakhtar Donetsk at the top, who are obviously 3 points clear of us, having beaten us and gone unbeaten so far. And this is a concern as Favorov heads? How does he hit it with his foot? He hits over the bar from a tight range on that right-hand side. We're going to demand a little bit more. We've blown teams away in Ukraine so far, bar Shakhtar, and it doesn't seem like we're doing that just yet here today. But there's plenty of time for us to do so, and hopefully, as I say, we can come away with that victory. I mean, they've got a pretty solid little formation. They're going to be outnumbering us in midfield. We can hopefully attack them in these wider areas, but of course they are also going to have those two isolated men up front. As we get to half-time, I didn't even notice the time ticking by. I mean, it's been a bit boring. 0-0, not the best. We're going to go with not happy with the performance so far and give the boys that we've got the faith that they are going to improve it in the second half. It's not been the most convincing two games compared to where we've been before. So I'm going to berate them a little bit. Verbic haven't. I mean, again, it shows if these front three do not fire, then we're going to struggle. We're also going to go attacking because, well, we need a goal. We're going to make some changes as well. Verbic on a 6.2. He's coming off. We're going to get Dulund on for him. Michaelenko also struggling for fitness. So he's going to come off for Kostevich this time. I think we'll do that for now, but I'm keeping an eye on Zigankov, Zidachuk and Emreli, who aren't having their best games at all. I mean, we've only had the 3 shots. What are we doing? I think I might go. Right, we're going to make a couple of tweaks to the tactic. We're going to go a bit more direct. We definitely want to focus the play down the wings because that is where they are lacking their men on those wide areas. Maybe if we hit the early crosses, we might be able to get some players in the box a bit later. We're going to go for that then. See if that works for a little bit. Just go a bit wider. Try and focus our play down the wings a little bit more and be a bit more direct. As we've got a corner, it's so easy for Shevchenko to handle in the goal. And he's going to hoof it clear. And they are in here, are they? No. Popov gathers at the back. Let's see how this attack goes. Trying to play a little bit wider. Sigankov is tried to find Zadurchuk, who's beaten to it, but he does get it back. Guidara, Shepelev, Deland, goal! The tactical changes have worked. We've gone 1-0 up. I mean, it's not been our greatest entertaining football that we've seen, but the tactical changes, we've just played this a little bit wider, and the early cross here from Guidara has found Shepelev on the edge of the area, who lays it off for Deland, obviously on for the slightly weak performance of Verbic, and he's slotted it home, and it is time as well to make a couple more changes if we can. We have got 3 subs remaining, so Shaparenko, who is struggling in there, he can come off, and we'll get Bielski on, and we'll switch. I mean, who can go back there? Oh, Surachuk can, so we'll switch those two over just so we've got a bit of a surer central midfield 3. Sigankov also struggling, so we'll get Bogdan Lednev on to the right-hand side. It gives us one more sub up our pocket, up our sleeve, but this direct approach has seemed to work a little bit better. That sub's going to be used now, as well as Andreyevsky is going to come on for Shepelev in the middle of the park, as there's a late corner. Luckily it is ours, but there's a chance for Zorya to break and pile on some late misery, but Lednev does really well to get back in, and we can build here. Emreli's in, surely he scores. It's a great save by Shevchenko. It's going to be one of the first games Emreli hasn't scored in, actually, so I mean, he needs to buck his ideas up. Come on, son. Right, Andreevsky with the corner. We're wasting a bit more time now as well, which is nice. And Emreli again gets to the header, but it is headed just over. 4 minutes of added time then for us to see out. As I say, it's not been our best game, but we still have come away with the victory. The slight tactical tweak in the middle of the second half seems to have done us well. It's an alright game. We've played okay, and it means we're now only 1 point behind Shakhtar, who did drop points against Vorskla, who are currently sat in 4th. So that tightens things up at the top. A title race may well be on, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that would be good, wouldn't it? If we can pip Shakhtar to the title. As long as we keep winning, as I say, I think the big games are going to be us versus Shakhtar Donetsk. But we'll see. We'll see how we go. We're doing all right so far. And fingers crossed, we can continue to do so between the next 2 episodes. Looking ahead to next time then, we will be back towards the beginning of November. We'll play our Champions League group game on the live screen against Bayern, and we'll combine that with Lviv in the league, who are currently sat in 7th, so one of the better teams in the league. So that will be our 2 games that we will be with you for next time. And as I say, fingers crossed for a nice sea of green in between. I hope, however, you have enjoyed today's episode, and if you have, please leave a like down below for me. Subscribe to the channel for more Football Manager videos, and thank you all for coming along and watching.